Okay, Jeremy, just a quick video from Face On, mate, just to illustrate what we talked about in your lesson. So setup-wise, we've got Grant weight on the right side. So setup-wise, we can definitely get our knees and our toes turned out more, can't we? And the other thing we spoke about was just making sure the shaft's leaning forward a little bit in the setup. And then as we go back, we spoke a lot about how to put the hands on properly, and also how much squeezing. Right, now we want some squeezing, especially in the top three fingers of the left hand. But when you start squeezing too much, it can be very detrimental. And one of the things it's going to affect is your lack of wrist hinge. Right. So you can see as he goes back just how easier it is to cock the club and cock that left wrist, right, where you're struggling a little bit, right? It may also be because you got that finger down the side of the grip, right? So, that's one of the things that we changed. And then if you're not hinging your wrists very well, something else generally tends to hinge as well. So we start to see that left elbow start to bend, right? Whereas what we want is we want a straight left arm, and we want some cock in our left wrist, some hinge in our left wrist, right? The other thing that we spoke about with regards to your backswing was just how your lower body works. So you can see just how this left leg has collapsed, right? The outside of your left foot's come off the ground. So, one of the things that we worked on from that position, just talking about that, is just how the left knee works and how we want the hips to work, right? So we want the right leg to straighten a little bit. We want the left leg to flex a little bit, right? So left knee flexes, so it goes down, and right knee straightens a little bit and goes up. That produces a little bit of tilt in the hips, right? It helps to produce a little bit of tilt in the hips. But I think the one big thing that really helped you, mate, was, and let me find your swing towards the end of the session. So what we did was we got a stick on the ground, and I said, right, well, there's the center of your hips. Try and get the center of your hips more over your lead foot during your backswing, right? So you can see your old swing. How, if there's the center of your hips, as you go back, very much over your right foot now, right? So much so that left leg has to collapse, and even the right leg's starting to collapse a little bit, look. Right, so I said, right, well, try and imagine your hips over that stick and try and keep them. There you go. So that's what you were looking like towards the end of the session there. And that's it. That would be your backswing, right? That's it. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to complicate things even further. This is your first ever golf lesson. So we're just trying to get you to understand how it works. There's a lot of teaching involved, a lot of making sure that you understand it visually, understand it conceptually, right? So, I much prefer that look on the right side. So if we stop you there and then we get a model up on the left side, right, and we stop him sort of around there, on there you can start to see some similarities, right? Same amount of kind of shoulder turn, similar sort of angle with your arm and club, right? You could maybe have a little bit more flex in the knees, right? Looks like your knees are very straight. But the big one for me, mate, is just how well you're keeping your lower body structured to get to the top there, right? The idea is that the hips have got to stay within those lines. And a good way of thinking about that is how you control the left knee, right? Not letting it kind of sag inwards like that. And also another way of thinking about it would be, right, well, try and keep your hips more over this foot, more over this lead foot, right? And then that completely stops the kind of the breakdown there, right? This was a swing towards the end of the session. I think that was that one towards the end where you said, well, just let me hit one, and kind of straight back to our old kind of habit, right, where the hips move. I mean, the idea is not to move your hips past that green line, so you can see how they bump in past that green line, right? So the drill is the one on the right side. This was your swing at the start of the session, so you can see just how that collapses. The left leg collapses, and you move past that green line where your right hip is, right? So that's your old swing, new swing on the right side. So like I said, it's understanding it, it's repeating it, it's understanding it conceptually, and then lots of reps in the apartment, and then by next session that you come and see me, mate, it'll look much better, and you'll be hitting the ball much better as well. I promise you that. All right, mate. Any questions? Just shoot me over an email. Cheers.